She said, hola, ¿cómo está? She said, konnichiwa. She said, pardon my French. I said, bonjour, madame. And then she says, say, and I say, no, lay. No matter where I go, you know I love them all. She said, hola, ¿cómo está? Said, konnichiwa. She said, pardon my French. I said, bonjour, madame. And she says, say, and I say, no, lay. No matter where I go, you know I love them all.
The new minimum wage of 1,500 ringgit will come into effect on May 1st, Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob has announced.
Hari ini saya mengumumkan di Dewan ini bahawa kerajaan telah meluluskan pelaksanaan gaji minima sebanyak RM1,500. Pembayaran gaji minima ini akan bermula pada 1 hari bulan Mei 2022 ini.
He said the increase from the current minimum wage of 1,200 ringgit will only involve companies in the private sector, which have 5 employees or more. He said the cost of living is rising and this is putting pressure on the B40 group.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the minimum wage and its effect on the Malaysian economy. Minimum wage has several impacts including household spending, the price of goods, inflation and economic expansion. First, let's discuss the effect of the minimum wage on Malaysian household spending. Let's go.
Prior to the wage hike, many Malaysian households, particularly those earning the minimum wages, face a challenge in meeting the rising cost of living. Bank Negara Malaysia 2018 report indicate that a single individual required at least RM2,700 monthly to maintain a decent standard of living in Kuala Lumpur, while a couple with 2 children needed around RM6,500. This disparity between the actual minimum wages and the estimated living wage resulted in limited disposable income for low-wage earners, constraining their spending primarily to essential goods and services.
The increase to RM1,500 aims to bridge the gap between the minimum and living wages, enhancing the purchasing power of low-income workers. This policy change was expected to boost household spending, as higher disposable incomes typically lead to increased consumption of goods and services. Such an uptick in consumer spending can stimulate economic growth by driving demand and encouraging business expansion. However, some argue that the RM1,500 minimum wage still falls short of the living wage, especially in urban areas with higher living costs. The Sun Daily highlighted that the minimum wage should reflect living costs to ensure workers can maintain a decent standard of living. Additionally, concerns have been raised about the potential impact on businesses, particularly small and medium-sized enterprises, which may face increased operational costs leading to price adjustment or employment restructuring.
So, as stated before, we can conclude that the increase in the minimum wage RM 1,500 improved household income and purchasing power for low-income workers, enabling greater spending on goods and services. However, it still falls short of the living wage needed in the high-cost urban area, leaving many households struggling to meet their basic needs. Balancing wage increase with living costs remains essential to ensuring a meaningful impact on household income and well-being. Now, let's move on to the price of food.
The enactment of minimum wages at 1,500 has caused several concerns about its potential to affect prices of goods and services. Before the introduction of RM 1,500 as minimum wages, the minimum wage had increased from RM 900 in 2013 to 1,200 in 2020. This increase's purpose is to address living costs which keep rising, but this has increased new concern about potential negative impacts on inflation and employment. This concern is supported by studies that show increases in minimum wages could lead to reduced employment opportunities for low-skilled workers because of higher operational costs for businesses.
After the 1,500 ringgit minimum wages, post-implementation, businesses faced higher labor costs, which often led to increased production expenses. To compensate, many companies pass on these costs to consumers, resulting in rise in the price of goods. This phenomenon is called cost-push inflation. For example, local reports show that food and beverage price in Malaysia increased after May 2022. The positive effects of the 1,500 ringgit minimum wages. While the policy increased cost, it also had positive impacts. Improved standard living. Workers in lower income bracket benefited from higher take-home pay by enabling them to afford better housing, healthcare, and education. Thus, the positive effect is to boost the domestic spending. With higher wages, consumer spending increased, which stimulated the local economy in certain sectors like retail and food services.
The implementation of the RM 1,500 minimum wage had both positive and negative impact on Malaysia economies. While it improved the standard of living for low-income workers and boosted domestic spending, it also led to increased business costs, higher price for goods, and concern about reduced employment opportunities for low-skilled workers. Next, let's hear about the impact to inflation. Let's find out.
The increased minimum wage intended to improve living standard in Malaysia. In the other hand, there are inflationary implications of the change. First, by raising the minimum wage of the employee, it will raise the labor cost of the business or known as firm. So, it will increase the input cost of the firm and will decrease the supply of the firm. To maintain the profit margin, firm will transfer this cost to their customer by raising the price levels, and this will lead to the inflation, which is called cost-push inflation. Secondly, when the minimum wage increase, workers have more disposable income. This will lead to the higher consumer spending. This will increase the demand for goods and services that can push price up. Especially if businesses cannot increase supply quickly to meet the demand. For example, industries like food service or retail might see an increase in customers, but limited resources or capacity can cause shortage, leading to price increase. This situation, where rising demand exceeds supply, is known as demand-supply inflation. It highlights how higher wages can boost economic activity, but may also contribute to inflation if supply does not keep up.
As mentioned earlier, while the increase in minimum wage aims to improve living standards, it can lead to the inflation such as cost-push inflation and demand-pull inflation. Next, let's hear about the impact to the economic expanded.
After the announcement, minimum wage from 1,200 to 1,500 by 1 May 2022. First, Malaysia economy for first quarter 2022 expanded 5%, and after 1 May 2022, you can see for the second quarter expanded by 8.9%. For the third quarter, expanded by 14.2%, and for the fourth quarter expanded by 7%. So from the data, we can tell that our economy, after the rise of minimum wage, the share economy expand fast in second and third quarter, but also slow down for the fourth quarter. Overall, the Malaysia economy expanded by 8.7% in 2022.
In May 2022, Malaysia economy experienced strong growth, especially in the second and third quarters, with expansion of 8.9% and 14.2% respectively. However, growth slowed to 7% in the fourth quarters. We can conclude that the minimum wage that increased from 1,200 to 1,500, from that many people will think the rise is good for them, but unfortunately it also have bad impact for them. Increase in the household spending and also price of the goods in market will increase, and this will leading to inflation. Thank you and goodbye.